Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop Click Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at I forgot the website, at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome into another episode of The Mom Game, episode 127 to be exact.
We're rolling.
We are rolling. Are we going to hit 150 before the end of the year?
Hard math. I would say yes. That's my guess.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would say no.
Well, let's see. There's 52 weeks in the year. Half the year is 26. We're already past the halfway point. Yeah, I think it's out.
Yeah, it's definitely out.
Definitely. You knew the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We're back together again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I mean, I think we had like a vacay. Yeah. I mean, you were the world traveler. I mean,
yeah, but then I had the one
Canada.
where I was out and you had guest host, and then we had the one where you were out and I had a guest host.
Yes.
So that was 2 weeks there where we had people filling in. I wonder what everybody thought.
I wonder what everyone thought.
Is that weird?
Do you think they thought we were like fighting, getting a divorce?
Or maybe one of us was dead.
Oh gosh, the dead thing again. I've gotten more comments on the
the
death show than any other thing we've done.
What are the comments? Are they all like also shocked
like,
that you told me that you hoped I would die?
They're like, oh, you're just as big of a bitch as I thought you were. No, but here's the deal. Like,
what's the deal?
We said this. I just say things.
Oh, I love
that people are thinking.
Yeah.
Another example of me saying things.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously the same way. Right. I worked with that whole thing for 3 years every day.
Yeah. And you just, I don't know, I guess.
It's kind of fun.
I never,
it's fun to laugh.
And And I never mean ill will or intention. I really don't hope you die.
Well, I know.
But if one of us has to, it's got to be you.
Doing it again. She's doing it again.
Anyway, the death show has gotten some kind of reviews.
I love that just talking about the death show got me that whole story about I don't even say that.
You can't
I can't say it.
Well, I mean, we can't.
I definitely couldn't yell it into a microphone. To later be saved for promos everywhere.
Note to Ted and Adam, please do not use that for social media promotion.
Please do use that for social media promotion. We'll get the clicks, girl. We need the clicks.
So many clicks. So many clicks.
But that was a fun weekend outside of the whole down the throat thing. Outside of that.
See, you just went there. You couldn't help yourself. You just couldn't help yourself.
But I didn't say that word.
You didn't. You just used the throat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It was great. Shit. There's no.
Two can play this game.
I love it. Are you kidding? I love it when you play this game. There is zero hope for us.
So,
none.
No,
there's just none. Okay.
None.
So yes, it was a great weekend. Henry's birthday party.
Yeah.
At the ballpark. Blast. So he got to see the Hall of Fame ceremony. We had a great time. It was a great weekend.
Cool.
Now back to school.
Yeah.
Back to school.
This week, right?
Yes.
We're the same.
Yeah. I mean, they started Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryder started today, Tuesday.
Or is he doing kindergarten again? Just kidding. It's not a shot at your kid.
Yes. That was funny. No, he's not doing kindergarten for a third damn time.
2 is plenty.
Be like, you know what? Just think, if I could keep him one more year, how good he would be at football. And then, Why not? Why stop at 3? Let's make it 4 years of kindergarten.
So wait, but
then he'll just tower over everybody.
Well, but listen, when is his birthday?
June 24th.
Okay, Henry's July 31st. He's basically almost a year older than some kids that were born in September that are his grade.
So you didn't do it with Henry.
We did do it.
You did do it.
We did do it. So, but it was called bridge, and that's basically parents' nice way
redshirting.
Right, exactly. And so we bridged him. So it really wasn't. It just makes us feel better by not saying that he did kindergarten twice.
Right. Oh, he was bridged.
He bridged.
Yeah, the private schools all call it that too.
Bridged.
I think like a bridge year.
Bridge year. So
well,
we did
Ryder
bridge.
is not stuck on the bridge. He has walked to the other side. He's off the bridge. Yes, he is in a number, a real number.
We're making progress.
He's in first grade.
Okay, and then what's Anna's sitch?
I'll probably do 3 years of kinder for her too. No, Anna is in her she's about to start her last year of preschool.
Okay.
And then she'll be in kindergarten at the same school next year.
Okay, so they'll be second in kindergarten.
Yes.
So that's what Henry and Hattie are. So I bridged Hattie also, redshirted her.
I'm not going to bridge Anna.
I redshirted Hattie because she had a summer birthday, and I didn't want them to be, they cannot even coexist. It's so unbelievable. I've never seen two children that fight the way mine do. Yeah. It's un-effing.
Are they really, do you think they fight because they're really different or really similar?
I think it's, I just think they're assholes to each other. Like they're such assholes to each other.
Did they used to be good friends when they were younger?
Like when she was like 2 and he was like 4.
I'm trying to figure out if this is what I have coming.
I'm telling you what, it has been it's just a constant battle. Yeah. They're just bickering fucking constantly. They fight about the dumbest shit. To where I'll lose my mind and I'll be like, you're fighting over a cup. Yeah. You know, and I'm like all dramatic about it.
My favorite because mine are doing it a little more now. They're still pretty good, but my favorite that they do is one of them will start, so say they're talking to Kelly or I, one of them will start talking and then the other one starts talking and then they both start arguing over who's talking and then they both start screaming and then they both start crying because they want to tell us something at the same time. Neither one can take a breath and let the other one talk. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, this is driving me insane. That is just part of the lovely mom life.
But that's why I wanted to do redshirt Hattie too, because I didn't want them to be back-to-back years. They're already 2 years is close enough.
You don't want, need them to be intermixing.
I don't need them to be in 5th and 4th grade. I need them to be in 5th and 3rd grade, which is where we're at.
That's
5th and 3rd grade. So Henry starts middle school next year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of excited. Like, school's back. Like, the structure is so good for the kids. It's like I've been up both mornings. I mean, just been 2 mornings, but like get up and I run before the kids wake up. That's kind of my school routine. So getting back in that means I'm going to bed earlier. Like that's a kind of a good routine after a summer of just kind of like loosey goosey. All that kind of stuff.
Wild West. Wild West style. That's what it was at our house too. So I've been really trying to get a little bit of structure back, even if it was just 1 to 2 days before, not like the whole week before. But yeah, it's good to have them back. It's good for work. Yeah. That after we got back from vacation and then just trying to work like with the kids, even for a week was driving. You just can't be productive. So it's hard. So this will be good. This is good for everybody. And I think they were excited to be back. Yeah. Big show today. We've got a really special guest that I'm super, super excited about. Yeah. Give everybody a little hint. Got my guns up. For everybody. So yeah, excited about our guest coming up a little bit later in the show. It's not Cliff. Pat Mahomes. But no. Good. No. Both very good guesses. The crazy gun dealer. The crazy gun dealer. It's definitely not him. Okay. But yeah, we'll have a special guest with Texas Tech connections coming up a little bit later in the show. We've got some news to talk about. We do. The TMG news desk / sports scorts, because they kind of bled together. Brought to us by our friends at Bottle Rover. Yes, we will get right to that news, but first, a little bit more about Bottle Rover. If you haven't downloaded the Bottle Rover app yet, please pause us. Just pause us. Don't turn us off. Pause us. Go download the Bottle Rover app. That way, when this show is over, when you make it through the day and you're ready for a drink, you will have no problems getting that drink in hand. Bottle Rover will do all of that dirty work for you. You can save time. You can save gas by getting your drinks delivered for free with Bottle Rover, a drink delivery app. One of the cool things about it is that if you spend $50, then the delivery is free. So it's really like, why not? Why would you get in the car and go and shop and tote your kids around while you're looking for booze when you don't have to? Bottle Rover can do it for you. Hosting back to school parties. A lot of people are doing that and parties these days. If you have one for kids, there's usually some moms in the back drinking wine. So you want to make sure that you're stocked up for that. Just make sure that you are able to kick back, relax, and take out all of the stress. Let Bottle Rover fetch like a dog. Get it? Bottle Rover. Fetch your drinks for free when you spend that $50. Another cool thing about it is that they're shopping from local liquor stores straight from your phone. You can enjoy the views and tan. Oh, my eyes aren't good. It said fan. I was like, how are you enjoying a fan? And tan. Yes, just enjoy having your drinks delivered to you. That's the bottom line about Bottle Rover, and we love them. We love their support. So if you're supporting them, you're supporting us. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Love the Bottle Rover peeps. Okay, so big news came down this week.
Yeah.
Chris Woodward relieved of his duties as the manager of the Rangers.
Yeah, that's a huge deal in your world.
It is a huge deal in my world.
Somebody you talk to every single day.
Every day, yeah. So this will be I guess technically Bees would be my sixth manager because we had interim. Anyway, full-time managers, this will be my fifth. That will be whoever they hire, whether it's Tony Beasley or someone else. But yeah, I mean, I think you kind of started to hear rumblings here and there about how maybe things might need a different voice, blah, blah, blah. And so it definitely was not a total, shock to me by any stretch. I wasn't sure how the timing would work out. I think that's the biggest question is people question the timing. For me, I totally understand it. It wasn't necessarily about wins and losses. It was more about seeing trends developing, preparation wise in the clubhouse, all that kind of stuff that they felt like if they didn't address it now, that it would carry into the off season and then ultimately into spring training when you do try to bring, someone new in. And so I think, the front office was like, look, we've got to, I don't want to say send a message, but we have to make it clear that this is the way we expect things to run. And not saying that they're micromanaging everything, but this is kind of the standard that we expect. Moving forward, we don't feel like that's necessarily been at the level we want it to be. Mm-hmm. And so to basically send that signal, to make that message clear in the clubhouse that it's not, what's been happening isn't going to jive long term.
So I don't want to say like laziness or whatever, but was it just like some bad habits setting in? Maybe people weren't.
I think when you look
trying, were they trying?
No. Everyone's trying. Yeah. There's none of that. There's no laziness. There's no quitting. There's no laziness. There's none of that. Chris Woodward is an amazing human being. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think he is a great, he's so positive. He was the perfect guy for when we were, the talent level on the teams that he's had has just, let's be frank, it has just not been good.
No doubt that's what he's going to try and explain to somebody that he's interviewing with for his next job,
people
right?
Know.
He's probably like, what the hell?
Yeah, but people around baseball aren't dumb. They know. They know the hand that he was dealt. And the front office did take accountability. Like, they realized that it's not like they felt like they gave him, a royal flush and he's, whatever.
They understand that.
Trying to make a poker analogy, but whatever.
I follow.
Whatever. So anyway, it's not like they feel like they gave him all these resources to, fucking crush it. But I think that for Woody, when he came in his first 3 seasons, the personnel was so different.
Yeah.
It was so young. A lot of guys with not a ton of experience or a ton of success, not very established. Just overall, of course there were individuals in there that were, but just overall, that was kind of the hand that he was dealt. So then you inject these veteran players who are established, into that mix. And the way that you manage has got to adjust to that.
Right. And you're like a rookie manager.
Right. Well, right. You're it's your 4th year on the job, but managing this team.
This is your first job.
It's completely different.
You're learning a lot.
Right. But managing the 2022 Rangers was a totally different challenge than managing the 2021 Rangers.
Yeah.
And so I think
we just don't have that experience to fall back on, I guess is what I'm
right,
saying. Like, oh, last time this happened, I did this. Or last time this guy came in with a little bit of an attitude. This is how I handled it. You don't have any of that.
Right. Exactly. And like I said, no one's quitting. No one revolted. No one hated Woody. No, none of that. It's just that this dynamic of players needed some, with the balance now of veterans and young players. It's not just young, inexperienced guys that aren't established in the game.
Right.
Now you've got a mix, and so that there has
another factor.
And so you kind of have to, figure out what systems work and all that kind of stuff in regard to that. And I think they felt like because it had been this way for these 3 years leading up to this, that kind of the genie was out of the bottle, and not saying that in a bad way, but that Woody's, managing style was out there. It was known in that clubhouse, and that the front office wanted it to be a little bit more tightened up and a little bit different. And to put that genie back in that bottle is impossible.
Right.
With the same group of dudes. Now, do I think Chris Woodward will get another managing job? Absolutely. Do I think he'll be good at it? Absolutely. Because I think he'll learn from the experiences that he's had.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be fantastic. I'm rooting for him always. I think he's a incredible guy. Like I said, I've never met someone more upbeat and positive. Like to navigate the first 3 years of his managerial career was pretty amazing, considering that the hand that he was dealt, and not only just, the roster that he had, but the pandemic. And I mean, it just was insanity. So rooting for him always. And then, then you've got a guy like Tony Beasley who's getting a shot. I mean, I don't know how legitimately they look at him as a candidate.
Is it interim or actually interim or maybe not?
I do know that Tony Beasley does not find his value in status. And so he was perfectly content being the third base coach of the Rangers, and probably would be for a very long time. But I think he will definitely, use this opportunity to his advantage and see what he's got. I think he feels like it's a challenge to him, and he wants to see what he would do. And I think he's got a great demeanor for it. He's known as being extremely nice. He is very much the go-to guy that the guys in that room will go talk to, sound off to about things. And so I asked him, I'm like, what are you going to be able to still be that guy that you've been for the last 8 years in this clubhouse, where you're the one that guys come to vent and to unload? And then now you're the authoritative figure. You're the one in charge. You can't play good cop. You've got to play good cop and bad cop. And he's like, look, I don't, and basically I'm asking him, can you be an asshole?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't feel like I have to be an asshole. Yeah. I feel like I can have tough, honest conversations as long as I believe in what I'm talking about, and I believe that it's fair, and we can have honest dialogue. These are grown ass men. We can have open dialogue with each other. And I'm not going to shy away from that. Yeah. So I think that will be interesting to see. I mean, the dudes love him like that. There is no doubt about it. Well, dudes love him.
And in theory, that's good if the manager is the one that they're going to voice their concerns, that they feel like they can be honest with. And when you have that not being the case, that's what can create some divide, right? If the manager or head coach or whatever sport we're talking about is feeling challenged because people are going to someone else, that gets in their head, and then all of a sudden you're feeling a little bit of a divide. So in theory, it would be a good thing. I know that's not always how it works out.
It's not. I mean, it's professional sports, but like I've never understood that. Like that should, like you said, that should be the relationship. Yeah. That should be the dynamic. That you can come to me with anything, and therefore I can come to you with anything. Like, we can have open, honest conversations. We may not always agree.
Yeah.
But let me tell you where I'm coming from as the manager of this team. Okay, well, let me tell you where I'm coming from as a player on this team.
Yep.
And I think those are conversations that he'll have and that he'll continue to have.
And even if somebody else is hired, he'd be right there still in that role, maybe. I would imagine. Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't. Right. Lord knows I don't know the front office's plans or Bees' plans. But I'm sad to see Woody and Aaron and and their family go. They were such lovely people.
Mom game zone.
I know. The official COVID expert of the mom game.
She was our official COVID expert. She helped us through the pandemic, she still can.
Yeah, she can.
Not the pandemic. Yeah. There's not going to be another one, I hope.
But she's like getting her PhD or some shit. She's insane. She's ridiculous. So to Aaron and Woody and their kids. I'll definitely miss them, but I consider them friends. And always will. And then of course wish Tony best of luck in this little endeavor. We'll see what happens.
One of the hardest things in sports.
I know it sucks. And all the guys yesterday were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It just sucks. Like so many people leave and I just stay here." And
you connect with people, you bond with people, you become friends, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. And that's how it feels when players are traded in a clubhouse too. It's just a weird part of sports. It's like so there's no other job where one day you go in and you're like, "Oh, no, you're traded. You're gone."
It's so awkward.
And you're supposed to be fine with it because you're making a lot of money.
And to be honest, not every dude that gets traded is making fucking millions of dollars.
Right.
Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And we got about 6 weeks left in the season, and so we'll see. 6-ish, 6.5.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think that it seemed like just after listening to people talk about it and whatever, the general thought was like, if this isn't your guy moving forward for the next however long, why
prolong
drag it out?
And that's what I'm saying. Right? Not only why drag it out, because now you can get a jump start on the search.
Yeah.
And then two, like I said, you gotta make it clear, like the way it's been going down is not the way we've wanted it to go down. And so just so you know, we're making this change to let you know shit's going to change, whether it's under Tony Beasley or it's under someone else next season.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And we've got the number one Rangers insider here on the Mom Game.
Numero uno.
Lucky us.
Okay, time for What Is On Your Feed, brought to us by our friends at Globe Life. Speaking of baseball, the job market is very different. A very different landscape than it used to be. Whether you're attempting to balance your work and home life or find a career that aligns with your goals and needs, it is a lot to juggle. If you're looking for a career path that offers a flexible schedule, the ability to make a difference, and the independence to build your own business, take a look at Globe Life. Anyone watching the Texas Rangers play has seen the name Globe Life, but people may not know how much opportunity is there and how many successful women thrive in their careers with Globe Life. If you've never considered the insurance industry, you should know that a growing number of women are finding true success within it. Globe Life has been around for generations and prides itself on its commitment to make tomorrow better. With virtual and in-person business models, you can find success wherever you are. So if you want to be paid what you're worth, keep a flexible schedule, and find meaning in your career while being engaged with what matters most at home, reach out to Globe Life today at globelifeagents.com. It could change your trajectory in a way you never thought possible. That's globelifeagents.com to discover what a career at Globe Life can do for you. Okay, I'm looking. Did you just add that?
No.
Did you?
I put a little carrot, a dangling a little carrot for you on the rundown.
I put the rundown in. Usually Julie does not make adjustments to said rundown. I get done reading the Globe Life read, and it's footfetish.com. What are we doing here? Why?
Well, it was on my feed a lot. And so
footfetish.com?
Yeah.
What feed?
Wait. Do you have anything else you want to do for what's on your feed?
No. I mean, I feel like this is going to take up most of our time.
Did you notice it was like on our shared note too? And then you deleted it there, our little notes. So I thought
that was for you and Gina.
Oh no. It was just kind of my notes of things that I jot down things throughout life that I feel like I need to discuss with you. And one of them was
footfetish.com.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, okay. So we've talked about the
people listening. Yeah. Or weird people.
We had like
with
a weird
things.
guy message both of
that
us.
wanted our smelly shoes or something.
He wanted our smelly shoes.
Didn't he tell us he would pay us a lot of money for smelly shoes?
Yeah, for old shoes. Like that had
the
been
more worn, the better.
Yeah. And so that we had like a WTF conversation about that. And and so then I kept seeing this, I guess it was on Twitter on that feed. People either mentioned it or whatever. And then all of a sudden I saw that it was like an actual company, footfetish.com. This is crazy, Emily.
Are people making a lot of money?
So obsessed. People are making a lot of money. It's like, OnlyFans. It's like that same idea, I think, but for feet. People pay. That's what first caught my eye. It was like, I can't believe I made $10,000 this month on footfetish.com. So I was like, what is this?
Okay, what's your price? What is your price?
To do so it's like a live cam.
Oh, it's live?
Yeah.
What? What?
So I went to the website. It is so bizarre.
I am not going there on my phone because I don't want to know what's going to pop up after I visit footfetish.com.
Now I have.
They have live foot cams?
They have live foot cams. It's everyone who enters the site starts out in the foot fetish room where most guests are chatting, putting on shows, watching others, or doing it all.
Doing it all?
Yeah. Scroll through the user list on the right to find the people you want to watch and chat with. If you see someone who catches your eye, you can watch his or her webcam by either clicking on the 1, 2, 3, or 4 button, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is where it gets really weird.
Our society is doomed. We're doomed.
This is crazy.
We're doomed.
We are doomed. These are feet. Feet are disgusting.
It's over.
Feet are the worst part of our bodies.
It's so, well, that's debatable, but we're done.
If you are not yet familiar with feet worship, here are the basics. This is a thing. Foot fetish, also known as feet worship or foot worship, usually represents foot master-slave relationships where the dominant partner is female. This is like 50 Shades of Grey. But with feet.
So these are dudes that want to be dominated by women's feet? I'm so confused.
Their feet want to be dominated by women's feet or something.
We're just doing foot stuff.
I think so. The submissive male partner is usually called a foot slave and addresses his female dominant partner as mistress, madame, miss, ma'am, or lady, depending on her personal preference. So I don't know if it's your preference or your foot's preference.
So, are there any foot interactions on here? Or are they just solo feet? Do we have like a feet lovemaking?
A typical foot mistress-slave relationship ranges from role reversal to more extreme activities such as tying up feet, trampling, humiliation, foot torture, dripping hot wax on the feet, toe sucking, and other light torture.
So wait, this is just feet? This is like feet sex. People are having feet sex.
And don't worry, sexual orientation also plays a big part for foot fetish fans, and it can include lesbian foot worship and gay foot worship.
Well, I mean, okay, no need to discriminate, but I just didn't know.
I don't know him.
Feet could have sex. I
don't know if it's called sex.
Well, what is it if it's not foot sex? What is it?
It's like this foot slave thing.
Somebody's a foot sex slave.
I guess so.
But this is
so weird.
Do they stop at the feet or does it go other places? I mean, now I feel like we're getting into like borderline porn.
Yeah, we are. But for feet. Foot worship.
So they don't ever show anything but feet on this footfetish.com.
That's what I understand. If you're looking for a female foot worship relationship, this website will be a good option for you. You can talk to strangers and check out their feet for free. I think this is all feet, Emily. All feet, all the time.
So are they showing feet interaction in there?
Yeah. And you find the person that you want to interact with. You can watch up to 4 live webcams. So I think people...
What? They're watching the feet and doing the stuff.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yes.
They're not doing anything with their feet. They're doing stuff with other stuff. I mean.
That's right.
Right.
I just realized that.
You just realized that?
I don't know. I thought the feet were all like, I don't know.
One big happy family? Yeah. I mean, no, of course. They.
Now I feel dirty.
Yeah, as you should.
But I couldn't get this damn thing off my feed. It was in my feed.
Now came to the realization that people are watching feet videos to get their rocks off.
I guess I kind of knew, but I hadn't thought it through.
Yeah, well, think it through, sister, because it's happening. But what I want to know about footfetish.com is, are they showing like foot interaction? Like, is there 2 sets of feet just doing stuff?
I think it's just one person's feet.
One person's feet for one person's pleasure.
Yeah.
Another person's pleasure.
Because if it's a webcam, like unless you have someone over.
So, but also like, from what I hear, porn, you can watch someone by themselves or you can watch them with someone else. So is this...
Well, you're right. I'm sure there's different variations. I'm sure there's foot parties.
Are we...
Is
there a foot foursome? Or
I don't know. But it is so creepy.
Why did you do this?
Because it kept popping up on my feed and I needed to explore it and I needed to bring it to What's on Your Feed on the Mom Game because it's the only place where I can figure all of these things out.
We need to explore why it kept popping up on your feed. Oh, we know why. Because the dude asked us for dirty shoe pictures.
I think it was because I follow Barstool. And I think this is a legit like sponsor. Like I think they must work with them somehow.
Stop.
Yeah, I swear.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's
and this
weird
is not an advertisement for them. And no, we will not take your money. Footfetish.com.
Okay. Well, to each his own.
Creepy.
If feet do it for you, get after it. I don't know.
But I was going to say, if you're just like a foot webcam person, do you think you still deal with like the same feelings or guilt or shame that you would if you were not a foot webcam person?
Are you talking about like porn?
Yeah. Like, is it
like if you're just foot porn instead of regular porn?
Yeah. Like, would you have advertised that to the world and not be ashamed? I don't know. Is it
Rex
frowned
Ryan
upon?
do like feet fetish thing?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I mean, fine. I mean, again, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, if you like to get your rocks off to feet
or help people get their rocks off.
Listen. Yeah. I mean, is there a price? No.
Absolutely not.
What about like just a picture of your feet? Nicely polished, just a good little picture of your feet.
I don't want to have any interaction with this person.
No. Just they're going to pay you $10,000 for a picture of your feet, knowing what they're going to do with it.
And we do that for
headshots. Yeah, I don't.
We do that. Like you can look on someone's Instagram and accidentally see pictures of their feet. We're doing that. We're not getting paid.
Okay, well then let's just get paid.
Well, I don't know, but if I can get this off my algorithm, I'm not interested. Twitter.
Okay,
that's what's on my feed.
That is what's on your feed.
Sorry, and to our sponsor.
That is not a subject that will be broached with our guest who is coming up.
No, absolutely not.
We're going to keep it above board with them. Not trying to get Joey McGuire. Oh, I just revealed. Not trying to get Joey McGuire in trouble. He is coming up right after these special messages brought to you by our friends at Early Bird.
Our friends at Early Bird. I recently posted a story when I was in Colorado, which we haven't even talked about our vacations really, but just general vacation talk, besides the fact that I did deal with altitude sickness in Colorado for like 2 days. I felt like crap. The first night I barely slept, and then it's like you're struggling because you're like, I want to forge on. I want to take the kids hiking and all this, but I didn't sleep because of this altitude. And then I remembered I brought my early bird gummies to the rescue. I took one before bed that night and I slept like a baby, and it like seriously turned my trip around. So I had to go to our Insta stories and tell the world about them, because I know, Emily, you've kind of like discovered the greatness of sleeping and all of that, but that one really affected me. And I'm learning that I love
I've
these
got
things
a girlfriend who
went
on vacation with us, and I let her have some, and she's like, yep, I'm in, already ordered some. Like, she's like, I'm totally in.
Awesome.
So thank you to Early Bird, all their support of the mom game. You can get the discount on your first order, 15% off when you go to the website.
earlybirdcbd.com/TMG. And yes, they're just great for not only sleeping, but they like to say they put a smile on your face and they help you take the edge off, which we all need back to school.
Just chilling. Just helps with the chilling.
Exactly.
Okay. I think it's time.
Now it's time.
And I am so excited to have this guy on our show. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago. He is the head football coach of my favorite college football team, my alma mater, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. He is first-year head coach, Joey McGuire. Coach, thank you so much for being with us on the Mom Game.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and I always love whenever you talk about your Red Raiders, because I know you're fired up about them.
I am. And I am especially stoked that you're on board. We'll get to a little bit more of your background and everything, but I always say this. It takes a special kind of person to make it in Lubbock. It's a different place. It's kind of its own little world.
Yeah.
And you have to really get West Texas. You have to get the people. You have to get the whole culture that is present in West Texas. And, it's hard to find coaches to go there that are bought in, that want to be there and aren't just looking at Tech as a stepping stone. And when they hired you, Coach, I was like, okay, this is it. Because I knew you wanted to be there. I knew that you would treat this as the ultimate job. And I think that people can tell that it's not something you can hide or pretend or fake. And am I right on in my assessment?
100%. This is a dream job for me. This is where I wanted to be. And, I relate. One, I'm a Texan, so I love this state, through and through. And then I think I'm a guy that, roll up your sleeves and go to work. And when things get tough, you just find ways to adapt and get better. And I think that's what West Texas is. That's what's made this place so special and makes the people so special in West Texas. So I think I relate, not only being a Texan, but relate to West Texas really well.
What have you learned, Coach, so far, just about the type of people, the type of fans that are there in Lubbock? Because as Emily said, I mean, she's a crazy fan, but like Tech is one of those schools where it's hard to find just a casual fan. They're hardcore. Yeah. What have you learned about that, and are you ready for all of that?
Well, that's kind of been the deal. My daughter went here, and my sister, 2 brother-in-laws, my best friend played for Spike Dykes. And so I thought I knew. I'd been out here to games and baseball games and thought I had a clue of the fans out here and how passionate they were, but I had no clue. I've never been around people that love their university so much, that love this town. And it really drives us. It drives us as a football team. It drives us as a program, to make sure we're putting a product on the field that they're proud of, that they can, walk away saying these guys are really putting it all on the line because, they're all in it, with us and they understand. And so it's a special place. I've kind of made a running joke. We've had, I'm sure you've seen Cactus Gate.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
And, it's one of these deals. I was watching Red Raider Sports, and they, kind of put a deal together where they were buying cactuses for a certain university. And they ended up raising so much money that they gave like $12,000 or $15,000 to the Matador Club. And you got universities around the country that aren't even raising that, for their NIL stuff. And we did it over a bunch of cactuses. So that just kind of tells you what kind of fans that we have. And I absolutely love it, man. It fires me up and gets me up even more excited every single day.
Okay, we're going to get back to that and kind of the current sitch going on right now in just a minute. But I want to backtrack a little bit and talk about, kind of how our paths started to intertwine and how this friendship between the two of us has developed, and how many times our paths have either crossed directly or indirectly based on people that we know and have worked with over the years. Take me back to Cedar Hill.
Well, for me and you, I mean, the moment, I'll never forget it. I mean, it's literally one of the biggest moments of my football life. We're playing in the state championship. We do the walkthrough on Friday. Of course, you were getting started in the Metroplex and just killing it. And so you're the reporter during that game, and, got to talk to you before the game. And then after we won the state championship, and you were the first person to interview me in one of those big moments. And I'll never forget it. One of the last questions you asked was, now you have these expectations, what is that going to feel like? What does that do? And I told you, I said, I've been waiting for these expectations. We want them. We welcome those expectations. That's what drives us to be better. And so I'll never forget that. And, that's kind of our starting connection. And then, now we're both Red Raiders and, have a love for this university.
Well, I should have at least let you enjoy your state championship before asking you about increased expectations.
You were that reporter.
What are you going to do next, Coach? I mean, come on.
No, but I think that's awesome. It just shows how much that resonated with him, that here we are all these years later and he remembers meeting you and he remembers that question. So job well done by you and by him. That's awesome. I met you too, Coach, one time. I interviewed you when I was doing sidelines for, I think it was TXA 21 Friday night. And I'm sure you remember that wonderful question I asked you as well.
Yes. He was telling me all about it.
No, I'm just teasing. But I remember you always being so gracious. And you're very beloved here in DFW. So while we're on that same topic about Cedar Hill, what is it, I guess, for you as a coach? I wanted to ask you, when you are faced with a new challenge, a new team, whether it's college, whether it's in Lubbock like you are now, what are like the 3 characteristics, I guess, that you would hope that people say you have as a head coach of a football team?
Genuine. I told the guys when we met one-on-one, just give me the opportunity, not really a chance, but just be open-minded to let me show you who I am. And I think it's very important that I do that just as much as they do. You know, they want to impress me. They don't need to do that. They just need to come and, you know, do what they're supposed to do and let me show them who I am. So I want people to say I'm genuine. I want them to say that any program I've ever been a part of, I put the players first. You know, I care about these guys deeply. I want them to be the best version of themselves. I want them to, you know, leave here and, you know, have a really good life and look back and say, you know, I remember whenever my coaches said this, or I'm a better dad because of this moment in my life, you know, spending with my coaches. And so, you know, genuine and somebody that really cares about his players.
Coach, take us from Cedar Hill to Texas Tech and the stops in between and kind of what you know, I mean, it's not very often. I mean, the direct jump doesn't happen a lot for sure, but sometimes you get pigeonholed into you're a high school coach, you know, that's kind of your thing. And so how did you make that transition to the college game?
Well, you know, I do tell everybody I'm a high school coach who gets to coach college football. You know, that's who I am. That's my DNA. I think that's why, one, I can connect with coaches around the state, and then two, how I've been able to connect with kids. But I'm kind of a unicorn when it comes to coaching. Yeah, I've only been 4 places. I was at Crowley for 3 years, moved to Cedar Hill. I was at Cedar Hill for 20, assistant coach for 6, and then the head coach for 14. We got beat by DeSoto in 2016, and that was my son's senior year. He was done playing, and I was ready to make the move. You know, I wanted to coach him, and so I had opportunities from 06 to 16 to go to college football, but I wanted to be with him, and so waited. And when that opportunity came after we got beat, I, you know, had some things lined up, but was lucky enough to meet Matt Rule, and we hit it off, and he hired me. And so spent the last years learning under Matt Rule and Dave Aranda, you know, at Baylor, and was part of 2 really big turnarounds. The first one, I think, one of the biggest turnarounds in college football, and being able to do that, and just my Texas ties and different people that knew different people here, as far as Kirby Holcutt and Regent Candle and Regent Womble, was able to get in front of those guys and get this job. And, you know, I tell everybody, you know, I'm one of those people that dig in, and wherever I'm at, it's the greatest place in the world. And definitely West Texas is the greatest place in the world, in Lubbock. And so my plan is for this to be my last job.
And it's crazy how small the college football world is, because Dave Aranda was on, I think he was a grad assistant on Mike Leach's staff when I covered that team.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I mean, so it's just crazy how it's such a big, I mean, there's so many teams, there's so many staffs, there's so many members of those staffs, but it's crazy how things kind of work their way back together. Dave Aranda, such a great dude. I mean, the mental, like he like screams mental toughness, and you know what I mean? He's just like, I don't know. It's almost not, he just is. I noticed that from a very, early time, that he was very, but y'all have different personalities, right? I mean, very different personalities.
Well, he's got his master's in philosophy.
Okay. Not surprising. Not surprising.
Like, it's perfectly like whenever, you know, Coach, that's who he is, you know, and I learned so much from him. But we are, you know, and I'm fired up all the time. You know, it's like some of the players go, like, I think you inject Red Bull directly into your veins every day. And, you know, it's just, we're different, but we have so many similarities as far as when it comes to how you treat players, and that the players are first. And that's how you build a team, you know. And that was what was cool about Coach Rule, because he's very different. And that was what's so great about Coach Aranda whenever it comes to how you build teams.
Yeah, you talk about how you treat the players, and how the top characteristic you listed about yourself was being genuine. Just how important is that you make that connection with those guys? And when you see that you have that, how differently do they perform for you? Because I think maybe that's something people don't realize is so important. You got to love the guy you're playing for if you're going to put your body out there on the line for him each day.
Well, we talk a lot about, caring about the guy on the right and left of you. And we have a player coach's oath, and it's not the player's oath. It's not the coach's oath. It's the player coach's oath. And, there's 4 statements. They all start with, I will. I will play with Red Raider speed and violence. I will show courage. I will know and do my job. And then I will always put this family first. And, that's something I try to show those guys. We talk about living by the brand, living by the player coach's oath. And so I try to do the same thing with them, and I think whenever people know that you truly care about them, they'll do amazing things for you and for the people around them. And so it's important that they understand that I'm genuine, and they're going to get the same guy every single day. The standard's not going to change. This is who we are. And, no matter who you are, this is what happens if for some reason you make a mistake and don't do what you're supposed to do. And that's with everybody in this building, coaches, trainers, student workers, my assistant, everybody. We live by the same thing.
So you're starting your college football head coaching career when the college football landscape is totally settled. Everything is chill. There are no changes happening. Everything is business as usual. I mean, I don't know if we want to start with the transfer portal, NIL. Let's start transfer portal. I mean, is there a transfer portal for dummies? That you can read. How did this change the landscape, and how do you use it to your advantage?
Well, first of all, you asked the question, like, why is it important to be genuine? So if you have a healthy culture and these kids believe and feel they're being developed and cared about, then you're going to be able to keep your players. And so it starts there. Like, we recruited them for a reason. We believe in them, and we want to develop them. So we don't want them to go somewhere else and play their best football. We want their best football being played at Texas Tech. And so that's really important. And then, the transfer portal, I'm not against it. I'm not opposed. I've always thought that coaches can leave, and I understand why players couldn't. I do think that part of that is having good reasons to leave. I've encouraged high school coaches to really stay involved with their ex-players, make sure they're transferring for the right reasons, because there's a lot of kids still stuck in the portal that don't have places to go, that were getting a free education. And at the end of the day, I don't care if you play 10 years in the NFL, you're still going to be 32 years old. So what are you going to do after that? So that education is so important. So there's a lot of kids that are making some moves that are not really in the best interest of their 30 and 40 and 50-year-old self. They just can't see that far into the future. So it's our job to help them understand that. And so we work with the transfer portal. That's not where we want to live. If we lose a kid, that we have a young kid behind them that's not ready, we might look at it. We did, when we came in, look at it just because we felt like we had to change the roster. But we're getting the roster where we want it. So I don't think you'll see us be in the transfer portal business as much as we were this last year.
And how about when it comes to the NIL stuff and just all of a sudden players being able to be paid and do endorsements and all of that? When you're in behind closed doors or at practice or talking with other coaches or other players, what's that like? Do you hear a lot of talk about it? Are the guys talking about this deal or that deal? Or do you find that they're still just focused on the game, which I'm sure is what you want?
All right. Well, I'll get to kind of the way we did it. And because the way our university and our alumni approach it, I think it's very healthy. But I'll just go back to name, image, likeness. That rule should have been changed 20 years ago. I mean, for a kid not to be able to sell his jersey after he's got through playing in a bowl game, or for a kid not to do autographs 10 and 15 years ago, that made no sense to me ever, And so I think we're seeing just this extreme because the rule wasn't changed when it should have been changed. Now, where we're living now, it's crazy. There's a lot of places that it is the wild, wild west. And, there's a lot of things being promised to players that are not true. There's some deception when it comes to the NIL. The one thing that we did, our Matador Club, led by Cody Campbell and Tim Culp and Mark McDougall and some of our really strong alumni, were able to set a collective up that benefited the entire locker room, and I think where the biggest shakeup is right now in college sports is Texas Tech did it for women's basketball, and nobody else is doing that. And they should. That's awesome for our female athletes. And so I think we are really far ahead of the rest of everywhere else of having a healthy locker room to where there's not a lot of envy, because there's just going to be natural envy a lot of times just living, by nature. And so this helps us really have a healthy locker room whenever it comes to everybody has something and working in that way.
Well, and I think too, don't you think when the NIL first started and it's like, okay, like you said, the Wild West, and I think a lot of, you had a lot of big name programs coming out and being like, well, we're not doing this, we're not jumping on this, and we're not doing that. But for a program like Tech, like, let's be real, we haven't been a power in college football in quite some time. And so for a program that's been where we've been over the last several years, how important was that to be on the forefront of it and say, like, this is what we're doing for our players. This is how we're handling it. Don't you think that was big?
It's huge. Like right now, if you are the outside world looking in and you don't understand a $200 million facility and then a locker room to where the majority have an NIL deal, women's basketball NIL deal, men's basketball. If you don't understand that Texas Tech is in it to be a major player, then you're living on a different planet. I mean, between the facilities and what's going on with the Matador Club and Level 13, it's absolutely incredible. And it goes to our leadership, goes to Kirby Holcutt. It also goes to Dr. Hurd, who is over our name, image, likeness. I mean, that's one thing with me. I don't do anything with it. I turn it all over to them, and they educate our players and do a phenomenal job with it.
Speaking of educating your players, I know you had Emily come out earlier this summer. How was that? What'd she have to say to the group, and how'd they take her message, do you think?
I think you saw at Media Day, I felt how well our players handled themselves was a lot because of Emily and her educating them on, like, this is how you talk to the media. Realize everything that comes out of your mouth goes directly back to who you are and your brand. Mm-hmm. And then you're representing more than just yourself. And so I thought our guys did such a good job of not being nervous, of really expressing who they are. And I think it had a lot to do with Emily and being able to pour into them. She crushed it. They loved it. They still talk about it whenever they get ready to talk to reporters.
They were, well, it was so cute because y'all came to the Ranger game that night, and I saw some of them on the field, and they're like, hey, they gave it a big hug. They're like,
your best friends.
We were so awesome at Media Day. And I was like, I'm so glad. So
I think that was a really brilliant idea, because who knows more about all of this, and that is an important thing that a lot of these college kids, especially coming out of high school into college, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to talk to you and they don't know what to say or do or how to hold themselves. So that was a great move by you and Em.
Yeah, they were great. Okay. Big 12, everything's super stable there. Yeah. How do you manage? There's so much craziness going on. You got into this head coaching thing at just the perfect time. Does it come up recruiting? Does it come up in your locker room? Is it a forefront, or is this something you're like, I'm letting Kirby Holcutt, our athletic director, handle this? Or are you involved in this whole process, or do you have too many other irons in the fire?
Probably many other irons in the fire, but Kirby really keeps me up to date. We had dinner last night and just talking about some of the different things that is going on. I think with the new commissioner, his background, his media background. There's going to be a lot of different changes, over the next few months. But I told our players, and I keep telling our players, like, I understand, I'm not stupid. There's going to be a logo across from us. There's going to be another team across from us. But we got to focus on ourselves. We got to be the best version of ourselves that Saturday at 7 p.m. when we kick the ball off, to give ourselves an opportunity to play well. And so we really talk more about us and really don't talk about a lot of people. Now I do bring stuff up about, when we play certain people, because I want them, like, I started practice today while they're stretching, going, you're going to do something today that's going to help us win a game in late October, and you don't know it. So you got to make sure every moment on the field you're doing what you're supposed to do. And so we talk about that, and, they know who we're going to play, but it's really like, are we going to be the best Texas Tech team that we could possibly be? And if we do that, then we're going to have a chance. We got a really good football team. We have really good players. They're bought in. They want to win. And we got a great fan base behind us. And so we'll be ready to go September 3rd.
Okay, before we let you go, we have to delve back into Cactus Gate, because this does involve my husband's alma mater, and also the school who another one of my dear friends, Sonny Dykes, is the head coach of. And so to me, this is like, I love it. Like,
you're right in the middle of it all.
It's so awesome, because there's so much banter and trash talk between, like, me and my TCU friends. We told the story about how you texted, I think it was on vacation, and you just texted me a cactus and then the word please. And I was like, I am so confused why Joey McGuire is texting me a cactus emoji with please after it. And I was like, what is going on? So then I start looking into it, and there's some, Lubbock's in the desert, said by a certain member of a certain university football staff. And then again, Tech fans, leave it to us. We'll go all crazy on your ass. And so it turned into quite the thing. But, for me, I think stuff like that is so awesome for college football and for rivalries. And there's one already that exists between TCU and Tech. It's been there for a while. I think it just makes it so much more fun. Don't you?
I agree. Of course, we're going to use it to our advantage whenever it comes to social media. And, every one of our players, I think, has a cactus emoji in their name now. And, Sonny Dykes is a really good friend of mine. He's one of my favorite people in college football. He always has been. He was such a class act whenever he came in recruiting Cedar Hill, and I really like him. But I think it's good for college football. I think it's good for the Big 12. I think it just adds to that game, and, we'll build off of that game, whatever happens. And so I think it's really good. I'm with you, but I also realize real quick, don't poke the Red Raider. I mean, don't get them started up.
No pun intended. With the cactus.
We get butthurt real easy. Butthurt real easy.
Well, I love it. Anytime something organic like that happens, it reminds me of the claw and the antlers with the Rangers. It's like, you've got marketing departments everywhere brainstorming. Okay, how do we sell this team? And then one little cactus emoji takes off, and now everybody wants to jump on board. So I think it's awesome. And I think this year, after this interview, I'm going to adopt both of y'all's teams. So you have one more hardcore fan.
Welcome. Julie went to Missouri.
Yeah, so it's kind of far away.
It's far away, and football isn't really.
It's not really their thing.
Really a thing anymore. We welcome you. Welcome
you.
to Red Raider Nation.
We're happy to have you.
That is your official statement. And by the way, that Tech TCU game is here in Fort Worth. Yeah. I will be there. Trust me. And I'm going to try to come down to Lubbock for a game as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for being with us, Coach. And thank you so much for being so sweet. Henry still talks about, I got to take Henry with me to Lubbock.
Oh my gosh.
He was in hog heaven. He just thought it was the greatest day. So thank you so much for being so sweet and welcoming to us. You and your staff were amazing. Your players are adorable. And I will be cheering for you guys, all the way. All right. Of course.
I'll come. Yes. Come see us, and thank you so much for having me on. This has been awesome.
Okay, we will.
Thank you so much for coming.
Before you go, you have to do. Craig can't do double because you're holding your phone, but one peace sign. Look in your camera and say "Mom game out." Okay. 1, 2. Wait. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mom game out.
Out.
You got it.